Mr. Jones, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Does a bisexual man exist in the black community?
Does does a bisexual man exist?
Yes.
Of course they exist. Like, what kind of question is that?
No,
No,
okay.
no, no, Mr. Jones. I'll explain it better for him to understand. What he's trying to say is to the black community, do someone like me exist to them?
In large
Uh,
That's
scale.
yes. Like, what do you mean? Like,
Okay,
prior
let
to
me let me
prior to colonization, there was literally African kings that had harems of male concubines and were also married and had woman wives.
let me
And
let me
the opposite was true as well.
let me ask you like this, Mr. Jones. So
Sure.
so we know, so you and I both know that a bisexual person is a man or woman that is, you know, attracted to and interested in both men and women. But in the black community, for on a large scale for both men and women, if a man has done
Are you
sexual
asking me if
acts,
homophobia is prevalent in the black community? Is that what you're asking me?
Yes, basically that's what he's
basically,
saying. Yes,
Oh
yes.
yeah, I mean, absolutely.
He's
right?
But I
saying
mean,
it from
that's
those
remnant
lens,
of
yes.
being enslaved. Like that's slave culture, slave mentality. Like the white supremacy doesn't need our help. I promise you, white supremacy doesn't need our help. They're doing fine all on their own. So for as black people, for us to marginalize people when we're already marginalized ourselves seems a bit working against our own self-interest. So here's the problem, right? Like if you're going to look towards revolution as black people, or you're looking to liberate black people, then you have to start with whoever the most marginalized black people are. And the most marginalized black people would be the trans and queer community within the black society. Now, if instead of boosting them up, because we understand that a rising tide lifts all ships, we would rather stand on their necks or stand on their backs. Like that doesn't make any sense. So what we need to do is make sure that they're safe because, to be honest with you, they provide a barrier to white supremacy for the rest of the black community. But if you eliminate them in terms of allyship, then there's nobody to fight the fight for you. But if we're really going to talk about it, right? If you look at the forefront of all civil rights movements, there was queer people, all of them.
But
Bayard
I
Rustin,
wanna I
and
wanna
see
thank
the
Angela
I wanna
problem.
Davis,
thank this
James
comment
Can I
Baldwin,
section
interject
Ray
right
for
there?
proving
Bradbury.
my point. I want to thank
Can,
you guys for proving my
can,
point because
can
this
I
is
interject right
exactly why I
there?
said what I said about the black community being the most homophobic community on the planet. Thank you for proving my point. I appreciate you guys. I really
Can
do.
I interject right there?
Yes, sir.
Because people a lot of see people want to talk about the civil rights movement as being a black people movement. The civil rights movement wasn't a black people movement. It was a socialist movement.
What's wrong with that?
It's socialism. That's the problem with it. It's
You got to be
socialism
kidding me
slash
right now.
communism.
What?
Yeah, slash socialism
What
slash
is wrong with
communism.
that?
So when you pretend that it's a black people issue, when in fact it doesn't benefit black people,
Bro, can you
then you
define
end up with a
socialism? What is
then you
socialism?
end up with a system that benefits other
Oh,
people when it's
great. Define
under the
socialism.
guise of benefiting black people exclusively.
Define
Black people
socialism.
have not benefited from the civil rights movement. One group of people have benefited from the civil rights movement more than anyone. That's white women.
Can you define socialism?
White women set up in the big house with the slave master as his daughter and his wife and
I
benefited
want
from
everybody to
our
point out that he
labor
won't answer
and
the
our
question because he
struggle.
doesn't
But
know.
they now you interrupt me. I let you speak, but now it's my turn to talk and you want to interrupt me.
Let
Okay.
him cook,
So
Mr. Jones.
go read the book when affirmative action was white. And it explains to you how white women benefited from the civil rights movement more than anybody. If you go and study Martin Luther King, Fannie Lou Haman, Ralph Abernathy, um, what's her name that was on the back of the bus? Rosa Parks. All of them studied at the Highland Folk School. They studied socialism. The civil rights movement was not exclusively a black people's movement for the advancement of black people. It was for the advancement of all people, and black people were to bear the burden of all these other people gaining civil rights before us.
Okay,
But see,
can you define
no one knows
socialism?
the real nog.
Can you
See, when
define
I start
socialism?
talking iconography and I start talking
Lord have mercy.
etymology,
He
then
babbling.
everybody want to start making up all their own definitions
OG,
about
OG,
stuff.
OG.
We're
It's
not we're
What
not
is
talking
history,
of
Mr.
socialism?
definitions.
Jones,
He's
Mr.
simply
Jones,
history,
Mr. Jones, I got
history,
asking
you.
what the
baby.
definition of
Mr.
one
Jones, I
word
History,
got you.
is,
history.
Mr.
OG.
Jones, I got
Sure.
you. OG,
Okay, great.
OG. So okay, so but he has his question to you is he wants you to define what socialism means to you. That's what Mr. Jones wants you to define for him.
Socialism is the ridiculous idea that everyone should receive the same no matter what they contribute to society. It's
That
a
is
ridiculous
absolutely not
concept.
socialism.
Well, give me the little made up definition that you're gonna give me. Go
I
ahead.
thought you was the scholar, though.
Go ahead. Give me the
Oh,
made up
okay.
definition you're gonna give
Socialism
me.
is when the workers own the means of production. And
Well, you
absolutely, we should
so
be fighting for that.
so we're
Absolutely, we
talking
should be
about the
making sure that the
bourgeoisie
people.
versus the
Oh, now you're going to talk.
proletariat.
Okay.
So we're talking
Hey,
about the
That's not communism.
bourgeoisie versus the proletariat. Go right
God,
ahead.
OG, listen. Everyone on this panel is going to be allowed to speak.
Go right ahead.
Let all y'all be respectful to each other, and let's let one person talk at a time. So the floor is Mr. Jones right now. When
Let
Mr.
them
Jones
have it.
is done, if Genty wants to speak, we'll go to Genty, and then we'll go to you. Let's talk
Layer,
one at a time
layer.
because
Okay.
we can't hear when we talk over each other. Go ahead, Mr. Jones.
Quite literally, why shouldn't the people who are actually producing, all of the products not have an equal and equitable share of what is being produced? Like, that's absolutely insane. The reason that they unalived Dr. King was mostly because he was trying to help workers unionize. That's the reason that's the real reason that they, assassinated him. And why shouldn't the people who are actually breaking their backs, working 55 and 60 plus hours a week, not getting the same benefits as the people sitting in the office literally doing nothing? Absolutely, the workers should have some equitable distribution of the means of what is produced. You're sitting here like, oh, it's because it was a socialist movement, as if you know what socialism is. Like, literally, you're a white supremacist, you know what I'm saying, in black skin, fam.
And I also want to add something really quick. I saw a couple people in the comment section saying, just because OG's older, he has years on us, that he's like basically making it seem like just because you're older, that means you're right. I'm 33 years old, and there's kids that are Gen Z that would literally mop the floor with me educationally. Just because you have years on me in regards to certain real life issues does not mean you are correct about everything. It is okay to be corrected, OG. It's okay to be wrong about something.
He's not that much older than me.
To
It's
speak
like
to that
it's
fact,
okay.
to speak to that fact, it's a lot of times when we put knowledge before wisdom. Believe me, we live in the age of information. I talk to my son come up with some of the most profound shit I ever heard because you guys have been indoctrinated into a system and you regurgitate the talking points of that
What
system.
system is that?
Hold on, let me talk. You guys regurgitate the talking points of the system that you've been indoctrinated in so very well. And I'm pretty sure y'all are college educated, and college is a breeding ground for this kind of doctrine and these kind of talking points.
I'm
These
not
kind of
even
talking
college
points. And
educated.
let me
I
tell
knew
you,
what
I
pansexual was.
I can never trade words back and forth with you guys because you guys have been properly educated and indoctrinated into these systems, and y'all talk very well on the talking points.
Hey,
But for somebody who's
can I ask you a question?
but
Can I ask you a
listen,
question?
somebody who has wisdom, knowledge, and understanding knows the BS that you guys are proceeding,
Okay,
and
great. Sounds good.
you can't put it across on somebody who really know what's going on.
Loud and
Straight up.
wrong is not a good look, fam. But can I ask you a question, right? Like, so where do you go if you get sick? Where do you go if you get sick?
Of course, you go to a hospital, but
Why do you
going
go
to
to
a
the
hospital
hospital? Why you go to the hospital?
because most of the time in Western culture, it's your only means of going to it. But if you understand the symbol on the
Where do you
outside of
think
the
that those
hospital,
people
you
that work in the
understand
hospital, where do you think they went to get said education in order to be able to treat you?
you
Bingo.
gonna talk or I'm gonna talk or you just gonna ask me facetious questions that you gonna answer.
No, these
What's
are
gonna
real
happen?
questions, friend.
So then you gonna let me answer? Or
Sure.
you gonna
Let's
be,
let's hear
or
it.
you gonna ask
Wait,
me
why,
facetious
hold on.
questions
Why is
about?
it when you guys know you're wrong about something, you say a question is facetious? Obviously, he did not say with any
No,
disrespect at all.
what I'm
He asked you a
saying is, if
straight
you gonna ask
question.
me a question, either I'm gonna answer it or I'm not. Or you gonna just answer it to set up with the diatribe that you gonna go into. So if
Mhm.
that's the point, go into the diatribe. I'll sit here and just drink my spirits and enjoy the diatribe. Like I said, you guys have been indoctrinated into these systems, and y'all know the talking points in and out. Go right ahead. I enjoy it.
Okay. So
I
if you
learn
were to get in
something
some
new every
legal
day.
trouble, if you were to get in some legal trouble, who you gonna go? Who you gonna go get? Oh, okay.
You asking me a question you want me to answer?
I
Because that's
did.
funny because I just got into a legal situation the other day at my job. I'm the supervisor at my job. The human resource lady contacted me with a situation, and I didn't need legal counsel at all because I actually could speak to myself legally, and my Fourth Amendment right was being violated. I let the human rights lady, I let the human I let the human resource lady know that, and I was gonna sue the company for $4 million, so they had to back down off me.
I would have just sued him
So
and got my
I
four
don't I
million
don't
dollars.
always I understand you might talk about calling up a lawyer, legal counsel, and all that. All of us don't need that in many cases because
Gotcha.
some of us actually know the law.
All right. So we should not tell our children to go to college, is what you're telling me, though, right?
No, that's not. See, now you reaching. I never said anything
I'm
like that.
reaching.
But I'm telling you, a lot of y'all have been to universities, you've been socialized, you've learned the talking points of a lot of these things you've been indoctrinated in. And
So should our
I
kids
can't
go to
mince
college
words
or
with you on
not?
a lot of this stuff.
So our kids go to college or not?
Of course they should.
Why? If they're just going to be
Because they
indoctrinated.
gain knowledge in college. But see, when you deal with young minds, you deal with young impressionable minds that can be indoctrinated into systems and they can be poured into to believe things that are not rational.
And so what if I said that's not rational, that I can't back up with actual data? Like you
You,
didn't
what,
even know what socialism was.
bro,
You want
bro,
black people to believe. You want black
listen.
people to
I
believe.
forgot
Oh,
more
I forgot
about
you're
what
talking again. I
socialism
forgot
did.
you're talking
No,
again.
I
Sorry.
believe I've no forgot more about socialism than what you're talking about. When you start talking about the proletariat versus the bourgeoisie and all that, I forgot about that shit. I read Karl Marx's book when I was 13 years old.
You should read it again.
I can read it four more times.
Y'all gotta stop
I
with
bet you.
this
I
whole.
bet you think
I
Hold on,
Karl
can
hold on,
read
Marx.
it
Mr.
four.
Jones. Hold
I
on,
can
Mr.
read
Jones.
it
Hold
four
on.
more
Y'all
times,
gotta,
and I
y'all
can
gotta stop.
gain something from it every time. That's
Stonewall,
listen.
please give me
Only
a
a
second. Give
fool
me a
can
second.
believe there's nothing for him to
Give,
learn.
hold on, guys. Give me a second.
Go
You
right
guys
ahead,
gotta
bro.
stop sitting here saying and I'm addressing some people in the comments I saw. You guys got to stop sitting here saying, oh, stop asking questions, Mr. Jones. Just get to the point. What you guys are feeling right now is secondhand embarrassment because you guys really thought that what OG was saying was correct, and then you are intellectually getting proven wrong, right, with actual
That
facts, and
that's
it's
exactly
bothering you
what's
guys.
not
So
happening.
you
That's
guys do
exactly
not
not what
want Mr.
happening.
Jones to cook because you know what he is saying is correct. So you are
Let
getting
let the
secondhand
other brother
embarrassment,
speak.
and you telling him, "Oh, let's just go back to the topic."
Let the
Shut
other
up.
brother speak in
You
the upper
guys
corner.
are wrong. Stop being loud and wrong, and this wouldn't happen. Again, I respect him as a black man. He's older than me, this, that, and the third. But we got to be able to normalize telling an older person, a person who's wiser than us, that sometimes you are wrong. It's okay to say my bad. I'm wrong all the time. Why is that such a problem with y'all? Why does that bother y'all so much? And why do y'all keep saying that Mr. Jones is catty and calling him gay because he's being passionate about what
I
he's
don't care. I
saying?
know somebody who
And then
like
you
it.
get mad when I sit here and say that we are the most homophobic race. Then don't be homophobic, people. It is not that hard to understand that. Stop being homophobic, then people in our community wouldn't feel this way. Christ almighty.
Right.
Sorry,
And
OG.
y'all can
Sorry,
call me
Jones,
all
but
the. Y'all can
damn.
call me
No,
all the
no,
names
no,
you
no,
want. I don't
because
mind.
like I agree
Talk your
with you
talk.
earlier, and you know I agree with you earlier. I believe that the black community is homophobic towards the gay man. I do believe that 100%.